in the war. Baba physically. That is why sometimes baba tla ulwana le wena ka matso. Baba tla o tshwara, baba tla o hina.
Hallelujah.
You see? Now, a battle is combat between two or more armed forces. It is more commonly a physical alternation between two or more armies. War is more of a strategic altercation between two or more entities, such as countries. Again, and we have said it already. Battles are short, and many battles make up war. A war is often longer and less common than battles. These are mostly altercations between political societies and result in many battles in an attempt to resolve the conflict. War is also known as a political violence or intervention. Now let us leave the secular and go to biblical terms. Let us go to the book of Joshua, chapter number 5. Now, Joshua chapter 5. But get over the real Numbers chapter number 14, verse 6 to 10. But let's call Numbers so that I'll confuse you a bit, then I'll sort you out. Is that fine?
Amen.
Amen. Before we leave here, I will have chapter 14, verse 6 to 10. Numbers, ne? 14, 6 to 10. Say a little more. Okay. Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes as a sign of grief. Why they were grieving? And they spoke to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, saying, the land through which we passed as spies is exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, then he will bring us into the land. He will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land, for they will be our prey. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear. But all the congregation said to stone Joshua and Caleb with stones. But the glory and the brilliance of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting, tabernacle, before all the sons of Israel. Now, here, Baratua, because I want to show you in the book of Joshua chapter 15, these effects of Numbers chapter 14, they can come and begin to show themselves up in 15, in Joshua. Now, there are certain stuff that you went through, but they are still in your system. But now, when you are faced with new challenges, you are paralyzed by the previous experience. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, Joshua was once in the battle. He was once faced with a situation whereby Habab not into differently, but now he was having a certain trauma because of the past experience. But how about because sometimes where they see danger, you see opportunity. Sometimes we see positive side. And that is why Banabata will stone Caleb and Joshua, just because they saw what they didn't see. And that is the problem in it. Joseph or but Matata Kadilo, when Joseph started to see what others don't see, because you start to become an enemy sometimes to other people when you begin to see what others don't see. And now what, once you speak your faith while others are entertaining their fears, and they start now to look at you and say, we get a bit, we get a no, you have now connected with another realm. You don't calculate the enemies, you calculate the promises, because those people were not sent there to spy the enemies, they were there to spy the land. Now when they came there, they started to calculate and count at the wrong camp. And that is why Sunday the young men went out and saw those who are against them. But the man of God said, Lord, open his eyes so that he may see those who are with us. Because it just takes your focus. What you give attention to determine your direction. And that is why when they say we see a land, we see prosperity, others says no. Why? Because they don't see what we see. Have you ever seen potential in somebody that has weakness? Have you ever seen a potential in somebody who has weaknesses? And you begin to believe in that person, but others wants to stone you. Because I see potential more than mistakes. I don't see the failures of a person. I see what God has deposited in the person. And now my work is not to work that person out, is to help him to work it out, that which God has worked inside of the person. Now we don't see the same. That is why we fight. Because Baba didn't touch us as funny. In Fishagalo, Esu. Do you get that? Now, I want to show you something. Let us go to Joshua 15. Now you will understand where I'm getting to. Joshua chapter 5. Not 15, chapter 5. Are you following me?
Amen.
Now let us read verse 1 quickly so that I give you a background on this. Now it happened when all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan. Now, Baratua, you must remember that sometimes you cross the river Jordan, but you don't know there are kings that are waiting for you beyond it. Because sometimes when God gives you a breakthrough, you think that after the breakthrough is celebration, but you don't know there are kings beyond Jordan. Now, Honale Marena, I am in Kanka. When you have crossed, there are other kings on the other side. Now when it happened, when all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan to the west, and all of the kings of the Canaanites who were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over, their hearts melted. Now that miracle of crossing, it was maybe looked ordinary to the Israelites, but it melted the hearts of the enemies. You see, sometimes we get used to what God is doing and we end up thinking it's normal. But there are kings on the other side and they are seeing what God is doing and they say, who is this God who can dry up the river Jordan? Who is this God who can make a way where there is no way? When God melted the heart of sinners and the hearts of the saints are not melted, because Babo nimbo na haba hona nixeta.
Glory to Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
The king's hearts were melted. Because what I want you to know, what God is doing for you is going ahead of you.
Amen.
Do you remember what Rebecca said? Uru, that Rahab. Uru, we have heard how your God has opened for you. Now, which means when God gives you breakthrough, it even click in the enemy's camp. Whatever that God is doing for you here, it is felt where you are going. And that is why sometimes you find yourself that your battles are greater than you where you are. Because the things that begins to attack you are greater than where you are. It's because the impact is beyond where you are. Now the impact has went to where you are going. And God has begun to shake things where you are going. And that is why even the devils of the higher level are beginning to fight you, because they have heard what the Lord has done for you. And their hearts melted in despair, and there was no fighting spirit in them any longer.
Glory to Jesus. Hallelujah.
There are certain things that God is about to do in your life that will paralyze your enemies. There will be no fighting spirit left in them, because they say, how can we fight a man or a woman who is walking with such a God? How can we stand before a woman or a man who is walking with a God who can command the river Jordan to step aside? They will just wash their weapons and salute your God and say, we have heard what the Lord has done.
My Father. Prophet.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen. Prophet.
Amen.
How come on about to bow below the Mudimu and said it's a matter about one tell to Bafu and Nate?
Aye, man, my Father. No.
Baukilang hantle ba kokobela. Magabasa kokobela ukuthi be modimo ha soqete. Come on. And the fighting spirit in them. But how can we fight with such a power? How can we stand before such a God? I'm remembered of the journey that he took with the disciples who already knew who he is. But after he calmed the storms and he rebuked the wind, they made a second confession. And they said, what manner of man is this? What kind of a man is this? That even the storms and the wind, they can hear his voice. And they begin to make a second confession. And they said, surely you are the Son of God. Truly you are the Son of God. There are miracles that will bring conviction, but there are miracles that will bring confusion, that God will begin to use to confuse the enemies more. Because there are levels where God, when he wants another glory, he will harden the heart of Pharaoh, so that Pharaoh must be stubborn. So that the more Pharaoh is stubborn, the more God reveals his glory. There are pharaohs that are not stubborn, that were intentionally made by God to be stubborn, so that they may pursue you, so that they may see that you are not alone, that greater is he who is inside of you than the one who is in the world.
Amen.
Somebody say amen.
In the name of Jesus. Can it be so that change?
How many people do believe that something has recorded in the enemy's camp? I want to prophesy.
Yes, Lord.
Something that God has, you are still here. But what God is doing, it's already shaking kings. Not even just citizens. Kings. Because you must understand this that I'm going to say is very important and very, very crucial. Alex, when Joseph interpreted the dream of a prisoner, he remained a prisoner. But after he interpreted the dream of the king, he became the prime minister. Now there are problems that you will solve, but they will never promote you because they are not in the level of your destiny. But God will confuse people of the higher dimensions so that they may fetch you in the prisons, right from the prison to the palace, because God will cause the kings to have a dream because you have the mantle of the king. Now what you have must affect the king.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
In the name of Jesus.
Hallelujah. Now, Eri, because of the Israelites and what God has done, and at that time, the Lord says to Joshua, at that time, when they were excited, when you Papa Joshua, I can't tell about excited. But have you about Hababul? And then take about Fanyo Neto Babulaya. Habasat be paid. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, make for yourself flint knives and circumcise the new generation of the sons of Israel, as I was done before. I cannot go celebration. I see now go out, but I cannot go loads and because when they think they have arrived, so the wound must humble them.
Amen. Hallelujah. Amen.
So that the wound may humble them.
Breakthrough I not fail, it not like a man. In the New Testament, there will never be a breakthrough without the blood. There's gonna be the blood before the breakthrough. In the law, you saw the breakthrough, but the blood after. But in grace, you must see the blood, then the breakthrough will follow.
Hey. My father. Hey, man.
So Joshua made flint knives. And when you make knives, you must not make them far from them. Let them see you making knives. So that those who are afraid must make way. Nice time. Because we are separated with the flesh.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Because there is no more crossing. It's river, it's a Red Sea, it's Jordan. After Jordan, it's entrance.
Hallelujah.
In the name of Jesus.
And a circumcision then I have actually kept it. You must sometimes be a spectator when others are circumcised and you still remain faithful, knowing that you are next.
Amen.
Mara Joshua, Yeshua, Mashiach, I'm not removing you, I'm removing the flesh. It's not about you, my son, it's about the flesh. I'm not destroying you, I'm destroying the works of the flesh. jolo ska gana ke lwana le wena.
Amen.
Lwana le manyala e seng le wena. Magono tlamele go ba yang mo ba lo sewa ba dumele.
Amen.
My Father.
Ba bang ba tswile line ntate. Ha ba bona madi. Ba ne re nana ke mnate fela. Kanti there is a bleeding before the blessing. Very. Because the Spirit of God is just too much.
Amen.
Any verse you touch, will repeat logo the written must be the spoken. Because creation never happened when God was writing. It happened when God was speaking.
Hallelujah.
Amen. That is why some people are carrying the written, but they don't understand the spoken.
Amen.
General.
Pastor.
Ba bang ba tshwere Bibele, ba bang ba tshwere ke lentswe le ka Bibele. O ba bona ha ba qeta ho e beya fatshe yona ya ba phahamisa. Ha ba qeta ho e beya fatshe lentswe le ya ba nyolla. Mara ba tshwereng Bibele fela ha ba e beya fatshe, ba e beya le botshepehi ba bona.
Ay, man.
Ba e beya le kgalalelo ya bona.
Ay.
All right. So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the sons of Israel in Gibeah Harlow. This is the reason why Joshua circumcised them. All the people who came out of Egypt, who were males, all the men of war had died in the wilderness along the way along the way after they left Egypt. Now, who na le batho ba ne ba tsebang ntwa? E seng bana ba di battle, ba tsebang the war. They have died. Now you must teach them war, not battle. Because if they can be faithful in the war, they will be fruitful in the battle. Ke batla go ba bona hore ana ba ka fola line, because batho ba ka sheno ha nka betsa announcement ka re tloho le tlo receiver ba ka tlala mona ba ema ka ntle, mara modimo na batla o checka ba ka fola line mo ba lo loser teng, ba fole line mo ba lo separate le ntho tse ba di rata, ba fole line mo ba lo lahlelo mo ba lo bleed teng, ba eme line ka botshepe ba re take it Lord, take it Lord.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Prophet.
All the men who came out were circumcised, but all the men who were born in the wilderness on the way as they left Egypt had not been circumcised. For the Israelites walked 40 years in the wilderness. I want to show you, what was the difference between the 40 years of Moses and the 40 years of Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Why it took Moses long and why it took Joshua long. Because Moses had mistakes.
Yes.
His weaknesses caused him to go 40 years. Yes. But Joshua went 40 years because of the mistakes of people.
Amen.
For the Israelites walked 40 years in the wilderness until all the nation that is the men of war who came out of it died. Because they did not listen to their voice. They died. Why? Because they did not listen to the voice. They heard the voice, but they did not listen. Because results are coming in listening. Faith comes by hearing. Hearing by the word. But fruits comes when you obey what you have heard. Now disobedience is suicidal. And God allowed men of war to die with their credentials. Because God is not walking with titles. He's walking with circumcised hearts. And it doesn't matter how many battles you have won. But if you fight the great I am, He will never keep you.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
If a generation doesn't want to change, it forced God to make a change. I want to tell you here, no one is irreplaceable.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
It's true, sir.
God can replace you.
Amen.
David used one stone, but there were 4 left.
Yes, sir.
If God chooses you, there are 4 that have remained behind. Because it was your turn.
Yes, sir.
Not because you are holy.
Amen.
God into Jesus.
And seasons goes with cycles. And there are cycles that sometimes cannot repeat themselves. If you misuse them, they may not come again. They may change their address for the sake of effectiveness.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
All right, let us go. Now, verse 7. So it was their uncircumcised sons whom he raised up in their place.
Yes, sir.
They were uncircumcised, but they replaced the circumcised. They were later circumcised, but the space was already filled. Now God can qualify you by grace.
Amen.
Now listen to this.
Yes, sir.
He raised up Nindal, whom Joshua because circumcision had not been performed on the way. Then, when they had finished circumcising all the males of the nation, they stayed in their place, in the camp, until they were healed.
Yes, sir.
You see, there is a problem of people who are quick to come, but they are also quick to go. And that is why they have left the altar bleeding. Because they never wait until they were healed. And that is why Habakkuk and Albatu Basia Lemadi. Okadula Lebona 2 minutes about Telakamadi. Because they are circumcised, but they are not healed. People who are not healed, they share their problems with everyone. Because they are not healed. Stay in God until you are healed.
Amen.
You will still have a scar, but the scar is better because it has dried up.
In the name of Jesus.
I better carry a scar, not a wound.
God into Jesus.
Because the wound is open to bacteria.
Amen.
The scar will remind me that there was one time when I was wounded.
Hallelujah.
but he healed me. Hallelujah. That is why when I have a scar, I'm not afraid to show you that I have a scar, but I'm healed. I'm healed.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to show you something. We are talking about the battle and the war. So most of you have overcome the battle, but you are losing the war. Because the battle is in the public, but the war is in the secret. You see, in the battle, you gain reputation, but in the war, you gain character. Now, because the difference between reputation and character is that reputation is what people think you are, but character is who you really are. And character is not built on the pulpit. Character doesn't need the microphone. Character doesn't need a pulpit, it needs an altar. You see, Jacob, he won the battle with Esau. He won the battle. Lights are cover up. But he still had a war. He never had peace. He was blessed under the wrong name. He lied to be blessed until he met the master. And when he was blessed, God says, let everything that you have move away your feet. I want you to go back to better. Because unali reputation, but you are broken. And I want to break you outside so that I may heal you inside. Today we're gonna win the war. Amen. How many people believe that?
Amen. In the name of Jesus.
We are tired of winning the battle, but we wanna win what matters most.
Hallelujah.
Win the war.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord.
Goliath was just a war. But the bear and the lion, the Goliath was just a battle. Because it happened in the public. But the bear and the lion, that was the war. Because when he was fighting Goliath, sometimes he was supposed to try to impress the crowd. But when he was fighting the bear, there were no cameras. He had to be faithful for himself.
Hallelujah.
Let us quickly go. Then the Lord said to Joshua, this day, I have rolled away the reproach.
Hey, man.
Because they were approaching Canaan with the reproach. And as a hobo, get le tshwao la bogoba. Bala modimo re lokela ditshepiso mara ntse le le magoba a sebe. Oh, sakamata yandara baba. Re ka sheno se gobo sa e gepeta se tlositswe. Ba tloile bogobeng mara ne ntse ba jagile se gobo. Motho a jagileng se gobo o gona o jola sa tlotsitswe. Go se gobo a se tsebe level. Se gobo a se fitla wena so addressa jalo ka the past you. Because Sonasi did awareness got the Egyptian. And that is why you need to come to the stone, to the rock. Because they were circumcised by the rock. You need to, we were taught the Jesus who gives. But I'm teaching you the Jesus who takes something out of you. Who removes the desires of the flesh out of your life. Who will find you fine and leave you bleeding. We know the bleeding woman who came to Jesus bleeding, but he stopped the bleeding. But in the army, Jesus doesn't stop the bleeding, he starts the bleeding.
Prophet.
Thank you, Jesus.
If you never bleed, you'll never breed. Tu masuna ga tla mpona ha ebe ko wena to go pompontshe mo lemetse tu masaka ke bona ba o thabetse ba opela matso nna ke batla mpontshe mo leng wa tswa madi because nke ke ga o tshepa gona re tsile madi wena o sa tswa madi batla re lahle dibitsa gona o lahlile difeng wena go bontsha wena o tla sala Jesu mo ga o lahletswe ke
Glory to Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory to Jesus. In the name of Jesus.
How many people say, Lord, remove the reproach?
Amen.
Some of you are praying for money, but you have reproach. And reproach will expose you. When you are in the high place. Ho bohloko ha e tloa mara ha e tlowe. Hobane ha e sa tlowe e tlo o tlosa thatong.
Hallelujah.
And Joshua na sa ba circumcise ka nako e kwana. Ha modimo a sa qetile ka wena. Mamella ba line.
Ai.
Ska ba tshosa ba be bangata. Ba khothatsa ba tiela ine.
Amen. Amen.
Ya simatha kama yanda saya. Abang ha modimo ka qeta ka bona. Ha ba khutla ba jaja. Aso ga qeti ha qadile ka wena o qetetse ka wena.
Hallelujah.
In the name of Jesus.
I'm happy or I'm live on Facebook. Let me say this to South Africa, to the world. God will never trust you to correct his people before he is sure that your heart is correct.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Because if your heart is not correct, you will condemn those you were supposed to correct.
Hallelujah.
Even if you post something correcting, what is the condition of your heart? If you address a problem so that you may be a celebrity, you are still evil. You must never use somebody else's wound for your promotion. Only Joshua had the knife.
Ai, my prophet. Ai.
God will never put his knife in any man's hand. Because even if he cuts you, he loves you.